I'm going to talk a little bit as I drive home. Got something on my mind and I wanted to talk it out on a video, just do a little brain dumping. Mm, do a little brain dumping, and then depending on how I feel when I get home, I printed something I wanted to read that has to do with, it's surrounding the word empathy, but it's not as cut and dry as just saying that one word, empathy, right? So today, earlier, I was at work and I was listening to Z-Dog MD. And he was like, people gonna be mad at me from what I'm saying, blah, blah, blah. But, and the same thing he was saying, somebody else was talking along those lines the other day. And I was like, you gotta listen to this video by Z-Dog MD. And he was just rambling on or whatever. At first I was going to say I was listening to my favorite AI person, and I was like, I can't do that. He touches on that a teeny weeny bit too. But, some people at work, they were acting like they wasn't listening. They were talking about something else. And they were acting like they wasn't paying attention, And so then all of a sudden, Z-Dog MD said something about a bag of dicks. And they was like, oh my God. Oh my goodness. And I was like, that's Z-Dog MD. Like, I just can't come out and say that, I even have to not too much anymore, justify my profanity and stuff like that. But, so anyway, that's one thing. And what I got from it, it had me thinking even a little deeper. And it's like, what do I want to say? Like getting to the point of not, how if you ever heard of what's his name he was in the military, David Goggins, and he'll say in a minute, right? Don't give craps about nobody but yourself, pretty much. As far as people. And so, another example, try to hang in there with me, I'm going to get to the point. Another example, somebody said something, had an interaction, and the people that was surrounding, I can tell they were saying all the things that the person was saying that's offensive, that they kept harping on. Like when you have things in your subconscious mind, your limiting beliefs and what you believe about other people, a certain word kept coming out as, talking to people and addressing people that way. So the bystanders that was witnessing it, they were calling it out, right? And so the person said, everybody's mad at me because of, my actions. And then I was like saying to myself, they're only calling it out because I'm sitting there But I was acting like I ain't see nothing, even though I saw and witnessed. But I was acting like, it's nothing. I'm not gonna interrupt. People gonna be people. That's their baby. They come across my lap. But then when they said something else, I was like, I got something for you. So I pulled up the video with Jamie Foxx. I did a short about that a long time ago. And I said, come here. And it says, fuck you. Fuck you. And we just started laughing. And he knows that's what I'm saying to him. F you. I said, all right, come, you ready? You ready to sing this with me? And so, okay, that's to say we both think different. I didn't agree with what he did and how he did it, but it was none of my business for me to, the word discipline is the wrong thing to say, but for me to open my mouth and criticize because, I have learned, and it took me a long time to learn and get through my thick head that people are going to be people and people believe the way they want to believe, and we can't change people. You can't change me. How am I going to change you? But we get along, and every now and then I'll say my piece in a jokey-fied way. And we joke about it. We good, They did what they had to do. I did what I can't change. I can't, how they say every battle is not to be fought, right? So I say all that to say the way I snap back with my mouth, even though a lot of times it's in a jokey-fied way, or it's serious, like I won't hold back and I'll say things a lot quicker than I used to back in the day. And that comes with a lot of going through things and practice and this and that and that and that. And it's not that, like sometimes when you want to come back at somebody, it doesn't have to be with vengeance or anger or a snap back in a nasty way. That's what I really want to say. Right? And then also with that, I want to incorporate being careful as especially, it could be young people, it could be old people, but definitely the young people learning as they're learning what to say, how to say, and they got a lot of spark and oomph in them, right? And it's good, like I always say, listen to somebody that resonate with you, that talks about narcissistic behaviors and toxic people, because you can fall into the rut of feeling sorry for people, like they'll do something and then they'll switch it up and act like, and have you thinking and questioning, well, maybe they're not that bad. And depending on how long you're going to be around them, like if it's in an intimate relationship or workplace relationship, you have a business partner or neighbors or things of that nature, you're going to, once you see something like that and you notice certain behaviors, certain things that they do and say to cut you down, to have you thinking, if you're ever thinking, questioning yourself about things that you're presenting, things that you're doing, and they make you question what you're doing. Those are the ones to watch out for certain words and things that they do and things that they say, because it can tear you down and have you turned into a whole nother person who you're really not. And then, and what I'm trying to say is they have a way of getting under your skin to make you feel sorry for them. And there are ways to not feel sorry for them. There are ways to not feel sorry for them without feeling nasty or angry, right? There's something else also. When when they know how strong your mind is, especially young people can destroy that beautiful young mind so quickly. When they start asking you questions, how do you know all this stuff? I wish I knew that stuff. Or they'll start praising you. And depending on your personality, if you like praise, you'll fall for it. So it's good to know your own personality with them and all this stuff, right? So you have to be careful with that and sometimes throw them off. Especially when you know they're watching you like a hawk. You have to throw them off. And then when you are strong enough to come on out with whatever you're doing, whatever makes you feel good. Not what makes other people feel good, but what makes you feel good and who you want to be. You either have to get around the right people and find out and learn people and be around just a few select, a few, trustworthy, similar-minded, like-minded people. Something like that. So let me go read this thing. And it tells what I have here, and I printed the difference between empathy and compassion. And these are some good things for me to know. And I really want to, I'm sharing this as I look a little bit deeper into it, because sometimes I fall short and get caught again if I'm not careful. And I can see it coming, right? And then not only can I see it coming where I'll feel sorry for them and fall into the he, laugh arena, but then I hear and feel and see the smart remarks, the subtle, quiet, sneaky remarks, sneaky attack type remarks. And so those are things I didn't pay too much attention to before. It's not going to make sense, especially if you haven't been through a lot of various different behaviors. They're clever. People are very clever. And then it's good to know, for me, it has been good to learn to know myself. Like, one of the things that I learned about myself that I don't like is the demanding part of myself. So I have to be careful at how I talk to people, because with my personality, it used to be higher, rate higher on that level of that demanding, quick, get it done. Don't take a long time, what I'm doing now, to say something. And like in the work environment, it has all, I excel in things that are quick, fast, and in a hurry. If it's real busy, if it's real, blah, 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 blah. So it's good to learn. For me, it has been good to learn my own personality and look at that as I interact with other people. But something made me want to, I was watching a live tonight and made me want to bring this up for a reason. I see something else. The fire in certain people, but they have to be careful. They have to be careful because people are clever. And then when you're looking at, I think that's where I was starting to say, is that you don't want to be paranoid about people and calling people out and saying they're not real or something like that. You have to. It's a collective of things that you have to watch for. The more you listen to about, if you feel like it, if you find somebody that fits your personality, when you type in narcissistic behaviors, when you type in toxic behaviors, when you type in a situation that comes up and you're curious about, and it'll lead you to certain human behaviors, people that are qualified to talk about this stuff, that have extensive knowledge in it, and it'll guide you down. It might guide you down the right track. I know it has for me. All right. I'll be back.
All right, I'm going to try to run through this really quick. I know I'm going to get tired. And I probably am going to, I want to look at this topic a little bit and probably chop up some shorts on this one. It's very important. People going to stop. I don't want to say you. I don't want to say we. I got to say I, me. Will there will be bad things said about narcissistic behaviors. There are and there are going to be bad things said about people that talk about narcissistic behaviors. I wonder why, right? They're losing momentum. They don't want you to understand and see how they operate. Human behavior is huge. Learning about the way we move, the way I move, and, if it hurts other people, if I move in a way that hurts other people, if I move in a way that plays with people's mind, if I know that people don't have their own mind and I try to recruit them to think the way I think and not have their own mind. So for me, I always say I can only talk for me. If it's something that I can't have my own mind about, if it's something that I can't think for myself about, if it's something that I adore and love to listen to you about, but I cannot make up my own mind about, if I feel as though I'm being demanded into thinking a certain way, if I'm being, I don't want to use the word manipulated right now, if I'm being told in a certain way to feel sorry for what you think I should feel sorry for, which is you. If you're constantly, there's a lot to all this. There's a lot to all this, and I don't know how to explain it. And I'm seeing more. You would think I would know more than I know now. Like that's why it don't feel good when people say you're grown, you're old as shit, you should know better. Those type of things. You should know better. If people haven't been through the same things you've been through, if you haven't been through certain things until you've gotten, and people use age, like what the hell? I don't know. But here's what I typed in: how to not care when you have so much compassion and really do care. I said give teachings from science-backed research, psychologists, Carl Jung, Einstein, etc. So it starts here with the challenge of balancing deep compassion with the need to protect oneself from emotional overwhelm is common. One particular, I'm not going to read all that. It's late. But one thing I did see scanning through here, and I did want to point out real quick, is when they talked about there's a difference between empathy and compassion. And I can't, where is it? I know I read it. Oh, I think this is it. Okay, so one fundamental approach involves understanding the difference between empathy and the difference between compassion. So empathy is often described as feeling with someone, experiencing their emotions as if they were your own. While this can foster connection, prolonged empathetic resonance without boundaries can lead to emotional exhaustion. And so the other one is compassion. Empathy versus compassion. Compassion, on the other hand, involves feeling for someone and being moved to alleviate their suffering. But it doesn't necessarily require taking on their emotional burden. So this here, they mentioned research by Tania Singer, Tania Singer, Singer, and Olga Klimek, Klimecki, Klimek, at the Max Planck Institute for Human Cognitive and Brain Sciences. And this here has shown distinct neural pathways for empathy and compassion. And this can hurt people very badly. Let's talk about, let's say in intimate relationships, you have domestic violences, why people stay, why people go, why, in workplaces, in race, prejudice, racism relationships, political party stuff, financial stuff. So depending on what I'm doing, who I'm around, now I'm at this part of my life. And I'm going to get to the point of saying what Z-Dog MD said in his video towards the end. Oh my gosh. And not feel bad or guilty about it. You know, because people are a trip. You got to put your foot down. I mean, you could joke about it. You could say, be gone, be gone. But do whatever it takes so that you can feel good inside for yourself. You know, forget about everybody else. Forget about all this other stuff. Right?